You play the piano really well. Sometimes
Thank you.
and there may be something that may be a really happy tune that you love so much that when you play it, it fills you with a confidence and a joy. So when you get to that situation, I don't know anything about this now, what this means, but I'm open to knowing what truth, what love would have me, how would have me see this now. Think of that little tune that you love so much, that gives you the joy, that connects you to that space. It's almost like a link thing. We can use things like this. So rather than something being a bad habit, we can have good little habits, little things that help us on our way, little jewels we put out for us, that when we're in that moment of darkness, we can see the little glint and remind ourselves, I want joy and peace here. I don't want to feel bad. And that thought would take me to feeling bad about myself or someone else, ultimately ourselves.
Yeah, well, another thing, the interesting thing that you mentioned about piano playing, and that is a connection to a very personal creativity, a personal flow of creativity. And I also think that in this, in an egoic world, that even the process of creativity can be swallowed up in the ego and suddenly becomes this minefield of judgment. So that if you play it this way, that's wrong. If you do it this way, that's wrong. It should be more like this person or that person, or it's got to be this way. And then this world of judgment comes crashing in on your world of creativity, and before you know it, you're frozen or paralysed and blocked. You can't play a note.
Only if we allow it to. Only if we allow it to.
If we allow that world to come crashing in. It's an interesting thing that that there are art colleges and music colleges and places of education that are essentially telling you how it all works, but
it's not telling you how to be, it's telling you how to do.
Well, they're often really telling you how to be and saying, well, it's got to be like this.
Well, it's saying you've got to do this, and you have to have this done by a certain time.
This is right and that's wrong. They even say this chord is right and that chord is wrong.
So it's telling you how to do it. This is the thing. It's telling you how to do it. If it's telling you how to be, there'd be freedom there. There'd be no rules. There'd be no structure. It would just remind you about being still, being quiet. The thing is, Joe, when you're in a situation where you feel tense and anxious, you could be at a court case or something, and you're trying to think of an explanation for something. The thing that's the hardest thing to do is what you really need to do. You need to relax. You need to relax and let go. Have a laugh. Can you do that in court? Can you do that? But that's what you need to do to access your full creativity. Otherwise, your intellect up here, your 1% that you're trying to, work out how to do something is not enough.
I feel like I'm trying to consciously release myself from that difficult judging place and say, well, I'm letting go of that now.
So there's the dream state. The dream state is where we want to be. That's where we get our creativity from.
It's for everything, for filmmaking, for piano playing, for felt art making. And in some ways going back to something very simple. It's a kind place. I did some playing with some strips of plastic the other day.
Yeah.
And I was really inspired by that little baby. And the next day I found myself just playing with these strips of plastic from an old shower curtain and stapling them together in different shapes. And it was really primary school art, and I loved every minute of it. And having all
what
the
did
shapes,
you love about it? What was the feeling?
It was so simple and easy.
Yeah.
And it was just playing. And
so describe the feelings around that. What was the feelings?
It felt calm.
Yeah, right.
And really absorbed. I felt really absorbed in it, like I was on this train of creativity.
Immersed in it, yeah.
And it was going to keep going. I was going to keep going until I finished making my creation.
So there's a faith in the process, isn't there? Like your knowingness, it's like...
Yeah, and you'll pick it up and go like that one and that.
Yeah.
And I'll put it on the floor, look at it and go, no. And then you pick it up again and go like that. And they go, yeah. And there's something inside. It's not that judgment thing.
Yeah.
It's something really from your
that
heart.
resonates and communicates. Yes.
It's a feeling.
Yes.
And I can't describe what that feeling is, but it's a feeling that goes,
So the thing is not to just. The thing is, that's great. We can't describe experiences really. We can say words that lead to it, but the important thing is, you were there, and you went there really easy. And it's remembering what was the process of that happening. It was a real letting go and being, wasn't it? And that you can access at any time. All of us.
Giving that space to myself.
Allowing.
It's almost like you give that space to yourself. Well, why don't we come into this space and do this? And you can. It's not as somebody else. You can give it to yourself and say, why don't I just take this moment now to play with this thing, play with it. And it's almost like you're letting your child inside have some playtime, and that's so healing. It's really healing, nurturing thing to do.